Hey guys, how you doing today? Welcome to my kitchen. Yes, this is my actual kitchen. This isn't some sort of stage that's been set up to where, all the angles can be perfect and everything like that. Okay, this is my regular home kitchen. But today what we're doing is we're actually starting dinner for tomorrow, okay? And today what we're doing is ropa vieja, okay? Now, if you don't know what that is, if you've ever heard of carnitas, okay, Mexican dish made with shredded pork. It's almost basically a shredded pork taco, okay? It's kind of the same thing that ropa vieja is, except ropa vieja is made with beef, and it's actually a Cuban food. So a little bit different, but very similar as well. So let's get into this. I've got just a few things to do today, and then we'll finish this off tomorrow. So yeah, let's just get into it. This ought to be really good, really quick today. The bulk of it is going to be done tomorrow, but I want to put this in the sous vide for 12 hours. So I want to get it going tonight. Also, with the we're going to do a side dish with the ropa vieja. We are going to have plantains. It's kind of a banana flavored. Actually, they look like bananas here. All right, this is a plantain. Very much like a banana, very much. The flesh on a plantain is a lot firmer, and so you can actually cook very well with these. They keep their shape and everything. So we're going to have plantains tomorrow as well. So let's get into this. Okay, so the ingredients we need for ropa vieja. We need 3 pounds of flank steak. This is very traditional. You can use like a chuck roast or anything like that as well. Just make sure it's beef. I'm going to need a half cup of beef broth. And as you know, Herbox, that is our no sodium version. However, the dish is not sodium free. I'm going to still put in kosher salt. I'm needing 2 bay leaves, 6 whole cloves. I will need a cup of diced tomatoes. I'll probably use 1.5. These are kind of a medium-sized tomato. If you use large beef steak tomatoes, you'll probably only need 1 of them. If you're using smaller Roma tomatoes, you'll probably need 2, maybe even 3 of those. I also need a half an onion, and just roughly chopped, okay? That's all these are, just roughly chopped. Okay, I need to set my unit for 136.5 is what I'm going to set it at. I'm going to get that going. My water temperature right now is 109.3. Okay, to start with, I got my Herbox beef broth mixture in there. I'm going to put in 1 cup of hot water, and then I'm also going to give that a stir. Just make sure it's mixed in well. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside to let it cool off for a little bit. All right, next thing I want to do is take out my flank steaks. All right, take these out of the package, give them a quick little rub down rinse. All right, now that I got my meat rinsed off, I'm going to put them in this bag. Okay, now I'm going to grab my kosher salt. I only need about maybe a tablespoon. So I'm just going to put it in the bag just like this. I need bay leaves, 2 bay leaves. Sorry if you're hearing that motorcycle noise. I don't know what's going on over there, but I've been hearing it like all day. Guy starts up his bike, revs it up a couple of times, shuts it down. 20 minutes later, he does it again. Oh, that beep you just heard, that was my sous vide telling me it's up to temperature already. That basically tells me I need to get my ass in gear and keep moving. So there you go, 6 whole cloves. Those go in the bag. Okay, let's start cutting up this vegetation. Now, I like to take out the core. In a dish like this, I suppose you don't have to, but I just don't like having that stem core in my tomato. My daughter actually has a friend over today, and they're actually down in the basement cleaning it. So if you're hearing bangs and booms and people talking and people maybe coming up and walking by and stuff, ignore them. All right, let's cut up this tomato. Okay, so like I said, I only need about a cup of diced tomato. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be precise. So I'm going to cut this like that. across. Turn it 90. There. Nice diced tomato. There. Now we'll do this one. Do that. Do that. Turn it 90. Do that. That. And that. There. I would say, yeah, that's pretty much a cup. Good enough. I'll use it. So I've got the tomato in there. So now we just need to do half an onion. Okay, I'm going to cut off that little dry end there. I'm also going to cut off the stem end. Just go down. Just like that. Like I said, just a very rough chop. There. Good enough for me. Put this in the bag. Now what we'll do is we'll close this up a little bit for now, just so we can shake the ingredients around, kind of get it all over the place. Try to get some onions and tomatoes between the two pieces of meat. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, so basically all I need to do now is get the beef broth, and hopefully it's cooled down enough. I mean, this went so fast, it's probably still pretty hot. But we'll pour it in here and get it in the water bath. All right, just give my beef broth a stir. You can still see a little bit of steam coming out of there, but that's all right. These zip top bags should be able to withstand that heat. All right, let's get it in the bag. All right, now when I'm pouring, I'm gonna hold on to the bottom of the bag and keep that up so it doesn't spill out onto the counter. Just like that. Zip it up for now. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm at 136.5, well, 0.4 actually. I'm gonna open this up, stick my flank steaks down into the water. I'm gonna pop open the top a little bit. I need to use the water displacement to help take out some of the air out of the bag. Here we go. Zip it back up. Now I'm gonna kind of trap the edge of the bag under the lid, just like that. Okay guys, so that's it. Okay, that's ropa vieja, the first step. Okay, and this is going to sit in there for a minimum of 12 hours because we're going to shred this once it's all cooked. So 12 hours in the water, and with these sous vides, it will not overcook. Awesome. See you guys tomorrow morning. Sous is done, so I'm just going to unplug it. Got a little sheet pan here. I'm going to pull the beef out and just set it on this pan, and I'm going to let this cool down considerably. All right, now I've got things to do today, and so I'm not really going to continue this until dinner. But yeah, this is fully cooked, it's done, and I've got things to do, so I got to go. Cool. See you guys in a bit. I want to make a side dish with the ropa vieja, and what I want to do is I want to do plantains. So there they are. Forgot I had everything already sitting out. So this is a plantain, looks like a banana. The flesh on a plantain is a lot firmer than that of a banana, but they taste really good. They almost have like a savory slash sweet taste, so they're different than a banana. We're going to put everything into a zip top bag and just let it sit. Once we do the cooking process for the plantains, it only takes like 30 minutes, okay, in the sous vide. And yes, we're going to do it sous vide style. Okay, so what I've got here is I got 4 plantains. We're going to slice these up in about 1/4 inch slices. I've got 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, teaspoon of ground cinnamon, teaspoon of kosher salt. I might go a little light on the kosher salt just for Jen. 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom. And lastly, I just need 1 bay leaf. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to slice everything up, put it in the plastic bag. See what I mean about how they're hard? So you can actually take your knife and slice down the skin of the plantain. Man, I've never had plantains so hard to open up before. So this time I'll make a couple of slits. Dang. Like I said, I've never had plantains so hard to peel before. Normally they peel pretty much like a banana. I don't know if that's a sign of being underripe a little bit or what. Seriously, I've never had plantains peeled this hard before. This is unbelievable. Okay, so I got all those peeled off. Wow, that was actually quite tough. I've never had plantains that hard to peel before. Unbelievable. All right, but now what I want to do is I want to slice these, and I'll do it on the bias, only about 1/4 inch. So about like that. There we go. All that's all sliced up now. So we'll just take it, put it in the bag. Put my 3 tablespoons of butter in there, 2 tablespoons, and I am packing it in a little bit. So 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now I know Jen's eating with us, so I'm going to make this a lower salt version. Instead of using a full teaspoon, I'm using maybe 1/3 of a teaspoon, half, quarter, something like that. Cardamom. I only need 1/4 teaspoon. And finally, 1 bay leaf. I'm just gonna close that up, just kind of shake around a little. Oops, wasn't fully closed. Shake it up just a little bit to get around all those spices, all the cinnamon and cardamom. And now this can just sit until I'm ready to cook. Okay guys, so everything's all set. 30 minutes in 185-degree water. So that's it, that's all. Let me show you what we're going to do with the beef. I think that's actually cooled down enough to where I can pull it. Cool. Okay, so here's my beef. Pull it out of here. Here's one. There's the other. Now all I want to do is start pulling it apart. I suppose it's up to you on how fine you want your shreds to go. I'm going to go fairly fine on mine. There we go, look at that guys. Beautiful pink color, medium rare cooked flank steak. Awesome. And I know what you guys are gonna say. What's it taste like? Well, truthfully, it's not done cooking technically yet. I mean, it's cooked, it's fully cooked meat, but I'm not done cooking it. I've basically just right now processed it. Not dry. Good beef flavor. I can taste the onions. The bay leaf. That's really good. Okay guys, I'm getting close to finishing the ropa vieja, and I got a few other things to use in the finishing method. So let me show you what I got going on over here now. Okay, I'm going to need a tablespoon of veggie oil, olive oil, whatever you want to use. The other half of the onion, I'm actually going to dice that up along with this red pepper, and it's going to be a fairly fine dice. Got about 6 cloves of garlic minced up, I've got 1 cup of a canned diced tomato. I'm going to need 1 tablespoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I need a half cup of white wine. I've got a chicken broth packet here. I need the 1 cup, so I'll use the whole packet. And then I also need a vinegar. Red wine, sherry, even apple cider works very well. All right, guys, I'm getting my sous vide going again. This time I'm setting it for 185 degrees, and that is to cook the plantains. Okay, guys, so let's get into finishing off this dish. So I'm going to take my onion. Now I want this in a fairly fine dice, but it doesn't have to be ridiculous. All right, now I'm just gonna do a fine little chop. All right, so there's my onion. Let me grab a container to put everything in. This onion, and I sliced it open yesterday. It's actually quite strong. So I'm actually going to put this as far from me as possible. All right, now we will do the pepper. Cut off the top. Throw out that stem, of course. We'll just reach in here, pull out all the seeds. So, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slice this in a few pieces here, just like that. And again, I'm going to make some fairly thin slices. Turn it 90, and again, go with some fairly small chops. There we go. Bring my onions back over. Put all those in there. Put my garlic in there as well. Okay, I'm going to set this over high heat. I'm just going to drizzle in about a tablespoon of oil. All right, throw my veggies in. Now I measured out all my spices already, and I can just dump those in as well. Now what I can also do is I can put my plantains into my water bath. They're sitting at the 185 degrees. It's kind of hard to disperse out the water out of the bag because they want to float. All right, there's that. Turn that down just a wee little bit. I tell you, the spices coming out of this are awesome. Turn that down just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put in my deglazing. This is the wine. So that was my half cup of wine. Now I'm going to reduce this down to where it's almost dry. Okay, don't know if you can see, but that's pretty dry in there now. There's not a whole lot of liquid. So I'm going to add the 1 cup of water, the 1 packet of chicken broth, and the 1 cup of canned diced tomatoes. Okay, I'm going to cook this a little bit longer until it comes up to a simmer. God, it smells so good. Okay, I hope you can see down in there, but I'm starting to get some bubbles coming up, so it's coming up to my simmer. And now what I want to do is I want to start taking all that pulled beef and putting it in the pan. And I'm going to stir this in. God, that looks good. I got this all stirred in. Looks really good. Smells amazing. So, I'm just going to slap a lid on this. I'm just going to let it sit here and just simmer away for a little while until my plantains are done. Okay guys, so I do have to come back just every few minutes or so, every couple of minutes, and just give this a little bit of a stir. That's all I gotta do, just every couple of minutes. Okay guys, so everything is looking amazing. The beef looks good. I've got a pot of rice going down there on the other end of the counter. I've got maybe another 10 minutes before my plantains can be finished off. They will be cooked from the sous vide, but I'm going to stick them in a pan and reduce down the liquid and the sugars and stuff like that. I'm going to really reduce that down and make a really nice sauce off of it. And we don't have to add anything else to it. It's just everything that's in that bag already. So I'll just set you down here, and when everything's done, I'll start setting up the counter. Cool. So as you can see, got my rice going. I like taking off that lid just to smell it, you know. Oh, wow. All right, I'm going to take a small schnibble here. Okay. We're going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. You can use any type of vinegar you want. You can use red wine, sherry, cider, white vinegar, whatever. I think a red vinegar would be more authentic. I've got a sherry vinegar and I'm just going to use that. Nice full tablespoon. I'm going to kill the heat. I really don't want that acidic vinegar to be muted down. Oh, wow. New sensation, all that vinegar rushing up into my nose. Awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off the heat and set it down there. This is hot enough with all that liquid in there that I can finish off these plantains without this getting cold. So set this down here. Okay, you know what guys, I'm sorry, I think I forgot to push the record. Basically all I'm doing is I took the bag out of here, dumped the plantains into this little skillet, and I'm just going to reduce down the butter and the sugars and everything to a nice sauce, just to where everything's all coated up. Might take, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that. So yeah, just keep stirring. I got it on a slightly medium-high heat, more medium than high. I do feel that these plantains were slightly underripe just because of how hard they were to peel and everything. I'm not an expert on plantains, so I don't know. I've never had plantains that hard to peel before, so. Okay, I'm going to say that that's good enough. Turn off the heat. Time to eat. All right, guys, the rice is completely done, and I've unplugged it already. Just going to give it a slight stir. Grab a plate. A little bit of rice. Well, a lot of bit of rice. All right, I'm gonna stir this a little bit and make sure that all of my beef is coated with that wonderful sauce. Gonna do that. And then I've also got a spoon so I can grab a little more sauce. We'll dish up some of the plantains. gotta hurry because I've got people waiting for me to get the hell out of the way.
Sure.
All right. Come on through. Okay guys, look at that. Ropa Vieja and Plantains. Sorry if you're hearing the kettle boiling over there. God, I love that vinegar at the end. It just adds that nice little acidic note to everything. The onions, the garlic, the cumin. Oh God, this is good. All right, let's try these plantains. The first time I made this was a lot better. These plantains are underripe. They're very hard, but they're not horrible. I will be able to eat them, but yeah, my first batch that I made a few months back was a lot better than this. Oh well. I still got my Ropa Vieja though. Okay, so the entire pot method, once I got all the beef and stuff in there, it simmered for about a half an hour. I don't think I ever told you that. It's an amazing dish, it really is. I wish my plantains were ripe though. Now, win some, lose some, right? All right, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching. I will see you guys on the road.